Yep, we're late, eh?
Can't wait, I suppose.
Call the Marquette County Board of Commissioners to order. Please excuse Commissioner DeRosa, he had a knee replacement. Stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of the minutes of the following County Board of Commissioner meetings. The regular meeting held on September 17th, 2019. Closed session meeting on September 17th, 2019. Budget work session held on September 24th, 2019. Motion to accept for file.
Motion to accept as presented.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner DePietro, supported by Commissioner Levine.
Excuse me.
Comments or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Proclamations, presentations, and awards. We have none. Approval of the agenda. I would like to add under the informational items 9C, Anderson Road update from the Road Commission.
Move to approve the agenda with that amendment.
Support. Motion and support. Any further comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment, anyone wishing to address the board, please come forward, state your name and address, and you may speak.
Dean Willie, the Undersheriff, Marquette County, live in Ishpeming. Want to give our report for September. Road Patrol had, we made 41 arrests. 4 were impaired or drunk driving, drunk or drugged. We had 11 drug arrests, 9 of which were for methamphetamine. 7 retail frauds, 2 resisting and obstructing police officers. Wrote 70 citations, police 34 accidents. We took in 234 civil papers and served 217. Search and rescue, we helped with some lost hikers. The calls for assistance, we helped with a plane crash at Scandia. Marquette City, we helped rescue someone off the break wall. They're actually up on the lighthouse. We helped with a missing older person at Whatmore Landing. Another female lost and stuck in her vehicle in the woods out in that area by Housing Lake. Lost person in Scandia Township, and another lost hiker by Sugarloaf Mountain. We did some training with search and rescue, marking evidence located in searches, and we did dive training in open water. And then we helped with the Teal Lake rowing regatta race. And then we did a whole bunch of interviews for new search and rescue members. Rescue 131 calls for assistance. They went out to the plane crash in Scandia, had a personal injury accident in Ishpeming, structure fire in Ishpeming, helped with a rope rescue in Marquette Township, personal injury accident in Humboldt Township, and a personal injury accident in Sands Township. For training for Rescue 131, they had training at the Negaunee Township Fire Department Rescue Intervention Team, gas monitors, confined space, and then they attended the UP EMS conference and classes. For the jail, 151 people were booked in the jail for September, 103 males and 48 females. We released 161. Average daily population was 133. The highest we had for 4 days, 4 of those days was 138. Lowest number was 124. We had an inmate assault. And then the letter that I passed out to you is we had an inspection by the Michigan Department of Corrections, and we passed with full compliance. I guess we've done that for the last 19 years, and they gave us a nice accolade saying that one of the better run jails in Michigan, state of Michigan. That's it.
On behalf of the board, I'd like to congratulate you and your staff on this excellent report here. The jail is an excellent example of a well-managed correctional facility, so it takes the team to do it, so pass it on to all your cohorts.
Definitely will, thank you.
Public comment? Public comment?
Dan Rademacher, 152 Manderson Road, Canyon. I want to thank Commissioner Al Holm for pointing out the situation out there. It sounds like there's something coming up about that, so they can reserve whatever time or questions I may have after that. Is that correct?
All right. We've got some information from the road commission. Commissioner Adamini, myself, Commissioner DeRocha met with them after the last meeting. We've got an informational item here. I guess it was emailed to them, but I'll read it to you. This is sent to our administrators. It says Commissioners Cork and Adamini and DeRocha were in yesterday to ask about maintenance that was done on OV. I have attached the following: original McNitt certification information for CROV, current CROV certification. The McNitt certification of CROV, Anderson Road in 1935, extending from County Road OA South to Dalton, 1.50 miles long. Also attached is the 1935 certified map and the 1937 aerial photo of the road. At the end of August, Bert Tavola, Director of Engineering, received a call from Daniel Rademacher asking about the location of the CROV and that it was not in the right-of-way. He asked why we didn't move it to the section line when we did some grading to it. He was told that a McNitt road with a 66 right-of-way, 3 feet each side of the center line as it exists in the field, which may be down the section line because of rutting and poor conditions of the road. We did some graveling of the road and the location it exists and is used, which may not be on the section line. I asked Ross Olson, K.I. Sawyer foreman, to write up a summary of what work was done on CROV. Below is the response. We needed the excavator in Anderson Road a little over 2 days, removing the trees and stumps and leave them in the right-of-way. We replaced the culvert with a piece of mine pipe which we had here in the yard that was salvaged from the Magnum Road in 1999. We moved the building in and hauled enough gravel into the road to cover it. That's what we learned.
I guess the still standing question would be why. You know, that is still the outstanding. Being that everything, being correct, I'm not going to pretend, you know, that I know all the surveying of the next 35. That'd be my only hanging question is, what purpose did it serve? That would be the ultimate. The ultimate question is why. It baffles me, but that is. But I thank you for your time and attention to it, and I'd be curious to find that answer. What I think it's. But I believe it's a legit question.
You can follow up with further questions if you want to send the road commission meeting for any other questions you have, but we wanted to find out basically what it was all about in comparison to what you had told us.
Okay. So you think? So the question of why still hasn't been answered, but that's it. Thank you for your efforts.
Good, thank you. Other public comment? Any other public comment? Review of claims and accounts, total expenditures for the period September 13, 2019 through September 26, 2019 were $450,356.74. Biweekly payroll for the period ending September 21st, 2019, $681,341.56.
I'll move to pay the bills as presented.
Moved by Commissioner Jordan to pay the bills. Do you have a support? Supported by Commissioner Arnold. Any questions on any of the bills? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next is a public hearing. Notice of closure, public hearing for the Michigan Community Development Block Grant, CDBG funding for Marquette Food Cooperative Incorporated. So I'll open it up to the public. Anybody that wishes to make any comment about the grant that was given to the food co-op? Any public comment? Any public comment? I'll close the public hearing. And you can note the time. No privilege comment, informational items, MDEQ air quality pending permit application, Isthmian Noon Kiwanis 46th Annual Hall of Fame breakfast in the Anderson Road update. Motion to accept for file and accept comment.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Jordan, supported by Commissioner Adamini. Comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, the action items. The first one is an upflow easement in county forest land. This comes from Tara Carlstrom, Manager of Planning. The Upper Peninsula Power Company is requesting a 15-foot easement in the county forest for distribution line to power Semco main line valve as part of Semco's Marquette Connector Pipeline Project. The easement will run parallel to an existing Semco easement, resulting in limited impact to the existing forest stand. The line will be trenched and will be beneath M553. Please see the included utility easement document with easement description map for reference. Based on Marquette County's easement fee schedule, 15-foot easement are charged at a rate of 90 cents per linear foot. Proposed easement is 1,024 feet, yielding a fee total of $921.60. Staff recommends approving the upflow utility easement pending payment of the easement fee in total of $921.60. So it's paid.
I'm not aware of yet, but we would, I guess we're looking for approval and we won't move forward unless we do it.
I have a question. We discussed this at the last forestry commission meeting, and at that time, the commission was advised that the minimum amount is $1,000. That was incorrect information?
I can go back if you want to make it that we apply the minimum amount, that's up to the board.
I'm just referring to information we received from staff, but it was the same staff person who wrote this memo.
Yeah,
So.
I don't want to tell you that myself. She's not here, unfortunately, available today, so.
And I had anticipated she would be here, otherwise I followed her.
It's something we need to do, so
Yeah, I
entertain a
have no
motion.
objection to the easement.
I'll make a motion that we do this. I have a comment too, but I make a motion.
Have support?
Also part.
My question is, Scott, I guess I didn't realize we had an easement fee schedule, and do different things have different rates? So if we had an easement for somebody for access, ingress and egress, is that a different rate? And did the Semco pipeline pay a different rate?
There may be different variables in it. We're following, if you might recall, we did this under the Nancy Seminoff situation. The board adopted a broader policy with respect to how we do a fee schedule, and we followed very similarly along the state's practice of fees. So there are some variations in it, but I don't have those specifics with me today.
I was just curious. I was curious if Semco really paid more.
We have maybe the civil counsel might recall, but off the top of her head, but we worked pretty hard to provide you
So I
a
guess
pretty comprehensive policy on it.
We have a motion and a support to approve this, and I guess you can check in if the minimum is 1,000, that's what they need to pay, right?
Correct.
Any further comments?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? City of Nagani proposed tax increment finance TIF expansion. Scott, you want to comment?
Well, sure, and if I need backup, we have the city manager from Nagani, Nate Heflin, here as well. So, as some of you may have seen, Nate and the city of Nagani are trying to do a lot of things to enhance their downtown and improve their economic position within the county and to grow Nagani's economic base. They recently were able to finalize something that's actually been on the books for quite a few decades, I think, getting their DDA approved and having a plan for that. And once they did that, they wanted to start to look broader because they have some other initiatives in which they want to do, which, again, the city manager can describe that more if the board would like to know. But what they would like to do at this point was to expand their TIF area. Probably the big parcels of land are west of downtown. However, it will go to a small area on the highway. It's a little difficult to see on the black and white map. I think Nate has a big color map here just in case to show you, but you can see it highlighted on the attachment that you were provided. And as you see, by expanding that TIF, the county does have some say in these because this is after the DDA component of it. So the county does have a say in what can happen with it. And so we think that it makes sense to support the expanded TIF. If you do so, that you would still collect as a county the amount of capture that you are collecting today going forward. So you would not lose any money initially. What you might lose is that expanded TIF area as it continues to grow. But what we're looking at, I met with the county treasurer and equalization to have a conversation with Nate and their consultant. We feel that it's given our financial picture going forward and some of the challenges that have occurred, not necessarily here as fully with TIF areas, that it's best to have an end date on them and at some point. So what we're recommending to the board for their consideration today, which the city has said to us, to me verbally, that they support what we're proposing to you tonight, is opting out of the expanded TIF area. However, we would enter into a separate agreement with them that allow that 100% capture for the first 10 years as it would be done if it was in the TIF, and then reduced to 50% capture. We get 50%, they get 50% the remaining 5 years for a total of 15 years. By doing so, you as a county are supporting their efforts to go forward and try to enhance their economic base as well. They have some projects that they're working hard to try to lock down that this may be valuable for. So with that, we're here to try and answer some questions. So my recommendation would be opting out.
Comments you'd like to make, Nate?
I just wanted to say that I'd like to thank Scott and his staff. Everybody's been, from the county, has been very receptive in trying to make some kind of plan go forward. I'm a proponent of trying to work with the county and be fair to all the taxpayers across the wide spectrum rather than just looking at Nagani itself, although I obviously represent Nagani because I'm employed by them. I also live in the county and realize that we want to make sure that monies get spread out properly, and there's going to be services the county will be picking up over this 15-year time period that we want to make sure that it's equalized out a little bit more. So I'm perfectly comfortable with delivering this type of message if this commission supports this initiative for the 10-year capture of 100% and the 50% capture of the 5-year remaining with the tax sharing agreement. We would be further open to increasing that agreement down the road when that time frame ends, or separating and just letting bygones be bygones and let things just run their natural courses. We're hoping for some potential growth to happen. In fact, we're currently right now trying to rezone sections of property in the northern portions where this district lies. And this will allow us to capture additional funds for that district to employ within our downtown area, as we can see over here, and some of our major park area. We're hoping that our plan so far will be successful, and we'll be seeing some developments occurring in these areas. So do you have any questions for me?
County commends you for your efforts to try to make a difference in the community and do some things that certainly would be great to see happen. And so I guess we support any place in the county that's trying to do good things to improve their community. So I think this recommendation is fair to both parties, and I guess it'll be up to the board to decide.
No, I think it's fair too, and I like TIF districts because they promote development. I also like having an end date on them because I think some municipalities get that revenue stream and they think it's their revenue stream, and it goes on and on and on, and that's not the point. The point of it all is that we're giving up this incremental funding, tax increases over a period of time, and at the end of that period, then the city or a township or the county all then share in this increased tax revenue. So I think that's the plan. I think what you have here is a great idea. 10 years at 100%, and then the rest at 50% for a few years. I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Well said. Yes, sir.
As someone who grew up in Nagani, I'm supporting this 100%. When I was going to school, there were 6 operating iron mines in existence within the city limits of Nagani, and the residents at that time had a very low tax rate because you had 6 mines paying it, and now you've got old infrastructure and don't have the industrial or commercial base before, and enthusiastically think we got to give you a break here.
Good. We appreciate your efforts over there and what you've done to try to move the community forward and do things, and we commend you for that.
Thank you very much.
I think Nate's very progressive. I wish we had more community leaders like that, so there you go.
Motion to consider the recommendation?
So moved, to follow staff's recommendation.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Arnold, supported by Commissioner Adamini. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Building 418 lease to Adler Lumber, Steve?
Yep, building 418, it's a 3,000-foot pole barn. Adler Lumber is looking to lease this property to Larson Lumber. There's some paved parking there, and they're looking to expand into it. It's a 1-year lease starting October 1st. The lease rate is $2 per square foot, which comes out to $500 a month. The building is provided as is where is. Lease is subject to all permits and approvals, including but not limited to zoning and building codes. Tenant's responsible for insurance, and tenant's responsible for the taxes. Adler Lumber has been a good tenant out there at Sawyer at this other site, so we're recommending that the County Board of Commissioners authorize legal counsel to prepare a lease and authorize the County Board Chair to execute a lease for Building 418 with Adler Lumber based on the above terms.
I move to enter into this lease in accordance with staff's recommendation.
Support.
And I'd like to say that Adler is one of those companies, and a lot of times I'm good for saying there's a few companies that have been out there since the beginning, and I miss Adler sometimes because they're kind of a small organization, but they're one of the ones that have been there for a long time. It started as Canusa, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been there a long time, so it's one of the ones that have weathered the storm, so, yeah.
Motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, pole barn bids on.
Thank you, Chairman. And I do have an error in there, which Commissioner Adamini pointed out. I put in there that it was lease of Health Department's building in Marquette Township, but it's actually Nagani Township, so I'll get that on the floor right away. Thank you. As a follow-up to, if you might recall, the Sheriff's Department Rescue 131 and Search and Rescue operations are going to be relocated from this state police post properties due to some winter damage last year. They leased just over 5,000 square feet. As you'll know from my memo, I think just a little over 2,000 is heated, the rest is cold storage. Initially, we were supposed to move out of there September 23rd. However, we did ask for some consideration to extend that, given that the board had, in essence, authorized me to go forward with seeking the potential of constructing our own storage facility to maybe take this on for more of a long-term place for us, because finding alternative sites has been difficult, and we had some available land next to the health department, and so I did go forward with it. It took a little bit to get everything squared away. A little over a week ago, we put out an RFP, and I would thank the Marquette Builders Association for helping, because given such short notice, being able to reach as many contractors as I did would have probably been almost impossible, because they directly emailed it to the groups on their list. So had a very positive response. But as you see here, we've kind of put the city of Ishpeming's lease on hold. They're aware of that and knowing what we're trying to do here. We've got an extension from the state to be in the building until November 30th, if we so choose to do that. Obviously, we'll be paying attention to the condition of the building. Everything doesn't look like it's imminent for any type of failure, but again, I can't promise that. So I went forward, we did a quick RFP turnaround, and we did end up with a nice response. As you note in the memo, it's a 45 by 80 foot, what would be a heated pole barn facility. There'd be 3 doors, 2 14 by 14 foot doors on one end, a 14 by 18, 14 foot high and 18 foot wide on another, to accommodate the different types of equipment they have. The proposal, the base, it's a lump sum proposal. The base bid includes only a fiberglass insulation. It has 2 heaters that would be could accommodate the facility. They'd be natural gas. We'd be stubbed out for a water connection in the future if that happens. And we added a few things that we missed in the original RFP to this, which includes a carbon monoxide air handling type of unit that was required, fiber in the concrete as well, insulation that we didn't include under the slab and just outside the building as well. And one thing that site has, which is a little challenging, is it's the site of the old garage from Nagami Township, and we are in fear that, and it's pretty strong probability that there's actually foundation components still in the ground there. And so we added into that to take into account in your lump sum bid not less than 45 cubic yards of debris material to be removed from that as part of that component of it. So with that in mind, we ended up getting 4 solid proposals responsive to our RFP.
I guess the question is, you're going through them, there's quite a difference in the price. Do they all address exactly the same construction?
Yeah, they got the same plans. They got everybody acknowledged, all, as you'll note by the attachment there, all acknowledged the 5 addendums that went out. All of them received that and acknowledged that. And so it's, and I think, a matter of interpretation. What we're asking for is that this building be have a temporary heated and have temporary occupancy by November 30th, and that's quite a rush to move this forward. So that can add cost to it, and there's some unknowns with respect to the underground, so they maybe have done some different things with that, and maybe how they approach the carbon monoxide and air handling component may have changed. You know, each of them, how they approach it might be different. That will be ultimately codes that has to prove that. So, but we have 2 bids that are quite close. They're actually by roughly a $2,000 difference between them. And so you'll see in the bids, Primo came in at $395. The bid alternate that we had in there in the beginning is a closed foam cell insulation, which is...
That's a spray foam?
It's a spray foam that expands. It probably pays for itself in time. And so we had that because we weren't sure how these bids were going to come in, given the short duration of the bid out there, and you know, the nuances of the site and some things. So we had that as an alternate versus the fiberglass. And so with that, as you see, Primo came in at $395. It's $6,000 for the closed foam. Roy Ness, $256.9 with $13.7 for the bid alternate. Gunlock Champion $371 with $13,000 for the bid alternate on top of that. And Customs Construction at $254,995 with $43.20 for the bid alternate. So we feel that these are workable, you know, to work within your dollars that you have in your reserve right now, with the potential of a 10% contingency. I'm not going to promise you we're not going to find some issues that we're not going to, just because of some of the site conditions. But if we could have a permanent site for this, for storage for this equipment that's heated, that would, in the central area of Negaunee Township like it is, I think it'd be very positive moving forward. So obviously my recommendation is to at least minimally go with custom construction with a low bid of $254,995. I would encourage the board to consider adding the bid alternative at this time as a consideration for tonight as well.
And that's because of the energy cost?
I think we would make that back up, that seals better within the property as long as it's being done. I want to get more information, but I'd like to be able to explore that with the contractor a little bit more on how they're going to do it before we finalize, but I like that I have that option.
I move that we authorize you to proceed, accept the low proposal from Custom Construction for the lump sum of $254,995, and also with the addition of the bid alternate of $4,320.
Support. Oh, go ahead.
Motion by Commissioner Anamedes, supported by Commissioner DePietro. Further questions?
Well, I'm happy to see the low bidder was a Marquette County company, so I guess the city of Marquette's or city of Negaunee's gonna make out tonight, but they got a TIF district and a contractor that got our work, but it needed to be somebody local that's gonna get this done. Like you said, 8 weeks goes by pretty fast, especially when you hit November 1st.
It's a tight time.
It's tight,
Yeah,
and I think, yeah.
The ground won't freeze, so.
I'm glad they're local, I'm glad they can get it done, and that's perfect, yeah. And by the way, the spray insulation, not only does it seal, I think, better, but the other nice thing about it is that you don't have to worry about getting wet and getting ruined. The problem with fiberglass, if you ever have a leak, it gets wet and it's ruined, it's gotta be replaced. So I mean, that's, you know, there's some advantages there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. 3 things. First, I want to thank Scott Urbish for getting all these ducks in a row for us. I know he was under the gun and your staff working together. And I'm really glad to see that we had 4 bids out on this. And one of the things is the first responders are going to be very happy with this location, because this is kind of your central area that they wanted to come out from. And third is the price. I really think that the bid was very, very good. So I thank Custom Construction for sharpening their pencil and doing an excellent job. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It was important to find a site near 41 and in the center of the county, so we're fortunate to have this site available. Any other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, UPCAP grant for homemaker services. We have to accept the funding to enter into 4 subcontracts with our senior centers. UPCAP has approved our application for funding for homemaker services. The amount of funding to be provided, $155,147, increase of 11% over the initial 2019 allocation. Funds will be subcontracted with the 4 area senior centers. The funding year runs from October 1, 2019 to September 30, 2020. Senior center allocations: Forsyth Senior Center, $28,050. Ishpeming Senior Center, $41,859. And Marquette Senior Center, $65,348. Negaunee Senior Center, $19,890. And those funds are based on the people that are attributed to these various centers. That's why the variation of the amounts. So, motion to approve.
I move to accept funding and enter contracts with this for enter.
And I'll support that, but I have a question. And it's probably a typo, but the report says the homemaker funding is in the amount of $155,147. and you show the total of the grants
Oh,
as,
yeah.
instead of 147, 174.
Yeah, I typed the wrong number on the bottom one, so.
Dyslexia.
Well, this is good news for the senior centers. It's an important part of their program, so this greatly helps the 4 centers in Marquette County. We have a motion and a support. Further comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment? Any public comment?
Just one thing.
Commissioner comments, I guess.
Okay, one.
Just one thing. I was just wondering if I could get a copy of that report. That was-
Sure.
I got one right here, I got one.
Give yours, Bill.
As soon as I get to it. What was it? 9, see, you got one? Yeah, there you go, Dan, come on up. There you go.
Under Commissioner comments, I'd like to comment on Section 298 in the Health and Human Services budget. The UP counties and Marquette County, we sent a letter last Friday to the governor to veto this, and also UPCAP sent a letter on behalf of the 15 counties, and we got the news that in a victory for maintaining local control and keeping for-profit insurance companies out of public mental health services, the controversial Section 298 that would have consolidated physical and mental health under Medicaid and HMOs was vetoed by Governor Whitmer. Local community mental health agencies and providers were thankful that the governor cut $3.1 million to fund for Section 298, a pilot program intended to integrate behavioral and physical health with Medicaid health plans managing the 2-year test. We are absolutely thrilled that the people we serve, family members and allies, that the governor heard the views on Section 298 and responded appropriately. This comes from Jonathan Mead, who's head of the Commission on Area Progress. So Marquette County, we set our own objections in because our board had taken action a couple months ago on this issue. Other commissioner comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On Wednesday, September 18th, Finance Manager Sue Burko, County Administrator Scott Erbish, County Chairman Jerry Corkman, Commissioner Steve Adamini, and myself attended, along with 184 others, attended the 29th Annual Retired Seniors Volunteer Program with County Administrator Erbish welcoming everyone in attendance, thanking all the RSVP volunteers for their years of service. And Mr. Erbish was also in charge of the 50-50 drawings and door prizes, with our table not winning the 50-50 or door prizes. Thank you for that. During the award ceremony, Sue Burko was awarded a 8x10 honor certificate for her 13 years of service for overseeing the Marquette County RSVP program. Again, congratulations to Sue Burko for 13 years of service volunteering for the Marquette County RSVP. And kudos to the Marquette County Sheriff's Department for the best operated jail out of the 83 county jail systems in Michigan. Thanks to Sheriff Craig Seibert, Under Sheriff Dan Willey, and his staff. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I guess I'd ask Scott, did you send a letter from the county board to the sheriff and to the staff commending them for their fine report from the state?
And Captain Gustafson.
I just have one question. It recommended that we put cameras out at the farm. And are we seriously considering that, or have we looked at that?
couple of questions. This is the first I've seen of it today.
Okay.
So have we looked at it in the past? I can't say that either, but we will follow up and see what they're anticipating, what they think makes sense, and we can make some reviews on that.
Well, there are, as they pointed out, there's some reasons why we might want to do that.
Absolutely, yep, and we have some risk control funds that we could potentially put towards that, depending on the cost. We can.
Any staff comments?
No, other than closed session going forward. And I guess I would like to thank, on the pole barn, Commissioner DePietro gave me some kudos, but I will tell you, it was quite an effort to pull that off quickly with staff helping in numerous ways. So it was quite an effort by internal and external help to pull that off in that short period of time. So very grateful for all the assistance we got to bring something of quality, I think, response to a project in a short order. So
Yeah.
we have a closed session on it.
And I think a lot of kudos should go to Commissioner, who's not here tonight because, he had that surgery, but, he was pulling the long oil.
Motion to consider going into closed session for strategy and negotiations.
So moved.
Commissioner Nordin, supported by Commissioner DePietro.
Commissioner Nordin,
Yes.
Commissioner Elmo,
Yes.
Commissioner DePietro,
Yes.
Commissioner Adamini.
Yes.
Chairperson Corrigan.
Yes, we'll take a 2-minute recess.
Thank you again. Yeah, thank you. We'll work on that one.
Okay.
Meeting is adjourned.
You can destroy him yourself.